Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. A very special warm welcome if you're brand new here. The reason why it's such a big warm welcome this time is because this is my first video in quite some time. I have not released a video in several weeks, maybe several months. Honestly, I can't remember. Life has just been hectic. There's been a lot on, and unfortunately I had to put my speed builds in the low priority basket. One day, if I'm a full-time content creator, they'll move to high priority, but for now this is only a part-time gig for me. So I hope you're sticking with me. I hope you forgive me, and I hope you enjoy this video. Hopefully I'm going to be moving into more regular territory for now, at least, when I've got a little bit more time on my hands. So I do apologize it's been so long, but hopefully this is worth the wait. I don't know. I also built this actually quite a while ago. This build was a stream build. I built it live on my Twitch stream. If you're not following me already over there, I'm at twitch.tv/KiwiSimsKate, and I'm currently streaming 4 times a week. And I'd love to have you join us. We play a lot of The Sims 4, obviously. We do quite a lot of gameplay. We have some building streams. And then also, every now and then I'll throw in a different game here or there. So we'd love to have you join us there, but this build was put together in one of my streams. I really wanted to use these new modern windows from the Growing Together pack. That was really my inspiration. Basically, it was the windows. I wanted to do something that incorporated these windows, something modern, something small-ish. So it's quite a small home, although it is 3 bedrooms. And there's enough room for 4 Sims, at least. You could put double beds, obviously, in the other bedrooms. But I've furnished it for 4 Sims max. And at the moment, I am building it on this little lot here, which is right by the waterfront in San Sequoia. I moved this, however, you'll see partway through when I start to get to the back of the house, and I put a little sort of patio at the back there. I shift the entire lot to a different location, still in San Sequoia. I don't remember the name of the lot that I move it to, I'm afraid, but it is a bigger one. I think I end up having to put it on a 40 by 30 because the size of the lots that we got with San Sequoia are not great, in my opinion. There's not enough variety. We sort of have a couple of really small ones and then some really big ones. But never mind, it is a beautiful world. I do love the world, and I love the pack. I love the build and buy items that we got. So previously I built in San Sequoia, and we made more of a sort of traditional craftsman cozy style home. So I really wanted to try a more modern look with these new windows in particular. So I found an image that I really liked on Pinterest, and I kind of imitated the front of it a little bit, but I also adjusted a few things just for the style that I was going for. And I also almost used this brick, but I do change that. I end up only using that brick. I think it was with Growing Together. It might have been a High School Years brick, actually. Yeah, I think it came with High School Years. I love the brick, but I just used it here on this little side entrance instead of all the way around the house. And then I just made the house a nice kind of modern white concrete-y type look with the dark wooden siding, which I think that siding came with Growing Together. I feel like some of the High School Years and Growing Together items, there's a bit of a crossover style, so I often forget. Anyway, here's me making the house a little wider as well, and I'm working on the back patio section. And at this stage, when I add this little section at the back, which is going to eventually become the master bedroom, I realize, oops, I don't have enough space for this house. So here is the house now on the new lot. As I said, I don't remember what lot this is, sorry, but there aren't that many in San Sequoia. I'm sure you'll be able to find it, or obviously you can place it wherever else it might fit in any other world. What else can I tell you about this home? So it ends up being a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. I also squeeze in a washer and dryer in one of the side entrances. And then the rest of the house is two bathrooms. 2 bathrooms. I have an ensuite for the main bedroom as well, and the main bathroom. Yeah. And then quite an open plan kitchen, dining, and living space. Which we'll get to shortly. But I also just want to mention something you would have just seen me realize. I had the most difficult time with these modern windows in the Growing Together pack. I couldn't, because I'd never built with them before. This was the first time using them. I had such a mind blank. Like I swear my brain just disappeared from my head for an hour or so. When I was figuring out the front of the house, you would have seen me use the tool mod in order to lower down the triangular window pieces that go at the top. I couldn't figure out why they weren't fitting and why they I was so confused. And then when I came around to do the back of this house and I had a wider piece of room to work with, and I realized all that was wrong was that I was working with too narrow a room to fit the windows perfectly, and I wasn't understanding why they weren't fitting with the roof. And oh my goodness, it was frustrating to say the least. I was getting very mad with the game, but I did figure it out eventually. And I'm so glad I did, because I ended up actually keeping the front windows as they are, where I use the tool mod to kind of merge them into to look like one big window. And then the back windows are laid out just as the game normally fits them. So yeah, if none of that makes sense, I'm sorry, but I just know that I had a lot of trouble with these windows, and then eventually I found out that all it was is that I was being really dim. So hooray for me finally figuring it out. So we've moved on to the interior here and the kitchen, which is where I would say I start probably 90% of my builds in the kitchen. I don't know why, I just often feel like it sets the mood for the rest of the house. And I'm using a lot of Dream Home Decorator items in here, plus the Snowy Escape sink, which I felt looked quite modern in here. I wanted to bring the modern elements into the interior of the house as well as the exterior. I feel like this house might be for quite a new young family. When I was building this in stream, I was talking through an idea that I had of the family that maybe eventually I'll create to live in this house. And it escapes me now, but I think it was a blended family. That's right. I was imagining maybe this is a house, and the Sims that live here, well, not maybe this is a house. This is a house, and the Sims that live here are in their so this marriage is maybe both of their second marriages for the parents, and maybe each of the children, because there's 2 children's rooms in here, an infant's room, and what I decorated for a teenage room, but obviously it could be a child's room as well, or young adults, or anyone. And I imagined that maybe one of the parents was significantly older than their new partner, and the older parent had a teenage child that came in with the marriage or the relationship, and the younger had an infant. So it's a blended family. Anyway, I thought that was maybe a cute idea, and that was why I decorated the rooms like I did, to have one for an infant and one for a teenager, where obviously that age gap is quite large, but yeah, I'm not too sure how I came up with that. It just, my brain, sometimes there's no explanation for it. It just does things on its own. So I've pretty much finished the bones of the kitchen, figuring out that platform. I really am glad I stuck with that platform. One of my mods actually was saying to me as I was building this, no, you need to keep that platform because it really does separate the spaces. And I'm so glad that I listened to him, because I agree. I think it looks so much better with the platform. It just gives the room more dimension as well. Sometimes open plan rooms, particularly in The Sims, they can just look a bit flat if there's nothing that kind of separates the different areas. So yeah, the raised area there with the kitchen has got the new growing together tile, the sort of herringbone style tile, and I carry that tile through to the side entrance and the front entrance. The front entrance, there's another, the platform is lowered there. So you come in the front door, you step up, and then you step up again to get into the kitchen. This dining room here, I think this is my favorite section of the entire house. I love it to bits. First of all, I'm obsessed with these wall lights that we got growing together. These sort of copper accented large spherical bulbs. I love them. They are so modern. They are so everything you would see in a design store, right now in real life. So I'm so happy we got those. And then the most surprising thing I found doing this build is that the swatches of the dining table and the dining chairs that I used, I didn't think I was ever going to be able to use those objects, because the default swatch on them, when you see them in the build by menu, is this white and I don't know how you describe the kind of blue. It's just like a crayon blue. It's very intense. It's very sort of not homey, not comfortable. It hurt my eyes, and I didn't think I'd ever be able to use it until I went through the other swatches and I found this gorgeous sort of these brown tones that worked so well with the flooring that I chose, which is from Eco Lifestyle, and this modern vibe I was going for, where there is sort of a mixture of these kind of harder textures like the brass and copper from these lighting fixtures, but then mixed together with some of these more natural elements like the wood flooring, that warm, really rich brown. So yeah, I'm so glad I found them. I love that table and chair set now, only in that color. Well, there were a few colors I liked, but this particular swatch I'm now obsessed with. And then the addition of a bit of greenery in that dining nook, or dining corner, and the big open window that lets in all that light, and that really cool, funky, modern rug. Love it. I love it. Can you tell it's my favorite room in the house? Yeah, I can't stop talking about it. Then I move on to this is the main bedroom. This is the section that I added a little later into the shape of the house. So this is at the back of the house. It has its own ensuite, but it also has its own entrance out to the back patio as well. So there's 3 doors in this room, which I'm kind of only just realizing. It's a lot of doors, but I think it works. It's modern. There's also lots of light coming in through these windows. The ensuite in this bedroom also has 2 doors, so you can get to the infant's room through the ensuite of this bedroom. And this is something I've done in previous family builds as well, in one of my more kind of traditional large family homes, definitely like a craftsman style home, which I will link here up above if you want to check it out. It's probably one of my favorite builds. It came out maybe a year ago or more, But I really love it. So check it out if you haven't already. And I use the same technique where I have an ensuite in between like the baby or infant's room and the parent's room. And it's just for ease of access because it's so frustrating when you put your infant or baby's room too far away and it takes ages for the parents to kind of head over to the kids' room and take care of them. So that was I sort of did it for gameplay, ease of gameplay, and yeah, I think it's kind of something a bit different as well. I use a lot of blue and brown in this room. It's basically blue and brown are the accent colors, the main sort of features. And I also realize I don't have any windows at this side of the house, so I add those. I don't really love making bathrooms without windows, but the main family bathroom is right in the center of the house. So that one doesn't have any windows, but the ensuite definitely has this nice big window here. And I decorate it in these kind of darker, rich tones. It's a little bit more luxurious than the family bathroom. It's their, the parents' oasis away from the children, even though actually the infant's room is right on the other side of the door. But, and this is pretend. And then, yeah, I'm happy with how the parents' bedroom turned out. Actually, I love the colors. I'm glad I ended up using that sort of open wardrobe from Dream Home Decorator. I wasn't sure I was going to do that. I didn't know if it would make the room look too cluttered because I am still going for a modern look here. Modern tends to be less cluttered and more clean lines and things sort of put away behind doors. But I think it works. And they also have a little desk with a computer at the end of their bed. And I figured maybe the parents are kind of workaholics as well, or maybe one parent is a workaholic and they sort of stay up quite late in the bedroom working while the other parent is just like, no, I'm heading to bed. Hopefully they don't keep them up. And then this is the infant's room. So the infant's room, I went for browns and greens, and this wallpaper really was the starting point of that color scheme. And I also pulled out that secondary cot, the travel cot, and I put it in the front room. I kind of like that there's maybe, they put one out there so that the kid can hang out while they're cooking or something and they can keep a closer eye on them. So this infant's room is a lot of green, there's a lot of brown, and it was influenced heavily by this wallpaper. I thought it's a nice color scheme that I haven't tried before for a child, a baby, or an infant. So I pulled out a load of green and brown things, including these sort of mint options for the new infant's furniture. So the cot and the changing table with the bin beside it. And then they've got the little campers kit that we got. I used the rug from that, the storybook that's sort of like a pop-up book that's open, the little camping light, and 2 of the pillows that we got. Now, I did have to, when I play tested this build, because yes, my builds are always play tested, I did have to adjust a few things throughout the house. Nothing major. If I hadn't have mentioned it, you probably won't even notice if you do end up downloading this build. But things like shifting these pillows in a bit further, because you'll see in a minute I place a wardrobe in this room. So I'm putting these like tiered box things and then this wardrobe, this base game wardrobe. But my sim couldn't end up accessing the wardrobe, so I had to shift the pillows a bit, but they're both still there. And I made a few other minor changes. The other thing I did, which I keep forgetting about because I wish that those Dream Home, were they from Snowy Escape or Dream Home Decorator? I can't remember now. I think Snowy Escape. The oven and the stovetop that come separately, I hate that you can't use them together on the same counter. I really wish we have the ability to use the stovetop above the oven. I think it's so ridiculous that you can't. So I know that when you build, you can make it look like they function, but then when you actually go into live mode, you can't use the oven at all. So I did end up having to separate those. I can't remember what other small changes I made, but they're minor. The house basically looks exactly the same. And here I move on to the teenagers' room. I'm a little bit behind. I'm talking too much, and you're getting to the rooms before I can describe them to you. Again, I'm really happy with the color scheme in this room. I had a lot of fun experimenting with some different color combinations in this house. This one here was heavily influenced by the wallpaper behind there, which is a Dream Home Decorator wallpaper. It's got these peaches and browns and creams and greens. And I tried to tie all of that in again to the rest of the room. So through the Dream Home Decorator bedspread, the dark brown and green dresser and desk, which both are from Dream Home Decorator as well. There's a bit of artwork around that's got the green tones in it, some plants with some green, and then I just clutter up the top of the dresser because obviously this is a teenager's room, and let's be real, it's gonna be a bit messy sometimes. And I gave them this awesome mirror that we got with Decor to the Max, which is super modern. And I needed to use it somewhere in this build, so I thought, what better place? And they've got a lovely big window too, so when the sun is coming in that way from the game, it casts some really beautiful shadows in the space. And lastly, I top it up with a rug, which I finally find the perfect rug, which has got these triangles, and again that ties into the wallpaper, and the colors are they don't perfectly match, but they are reminiscent, I suppose, of the wallpaper. Last room of the interior, is it? No, I still have the kind of laundry area which I go to, but this is the family bathroom, the main bathroom. It's got the shower tub combo from Growing Together. Adore this. The detail in that item. I'm so obsessed. And I pick out the swatch that has this sort of copper detailing, and then I use, again, this is a theme. Are you hearing this theme? I'm finding one thing in a room and then building the room around it. So the shower tub combo, white and copper, and I bring that right through the entire bathroom. White cabinets from Dream Home Decorator. There's kind of brown, cream, white artwork up on the wall. I forget what pack that's from. Is it Get Together? No, surely not. I'm not too sure actually. And then a bunch of the clutter that we got with the bathroom clutter kit, including the chrome towel rack and the Snowy Escape sink in copper. Did I say chrome? I meant copper. I keep wanting to say chrome, but it's not. It's copper, very much. And then the copper framed big mirror, which is that's one of my favorite mirrors, but I forget again what pack that's from as well. I then come out to the living room, which I didn't talk about at all earlier. I'm sorry. But it's basically black and white. Black, white, and grey with a bit of chrome. And I add the curtains in the black. I kept, I think, all the curtains in the house are these new curtains that we got with Desert Luxe Kit, right? Is that where they're from? I think so. I just change up the colours in the different rooms depending on what room they're in, and what colour best suits that area. And then the front doors got a little bookshelf there, the umbrella stand, some nice wall decorations, and then I just bring out a bunch of clutter to fill up the space. It bothers me that there's so much empty space in both of the shelf options in these items from growing together. And a simple grey and white rug for the front door, like welcome mat thing. Oh, and that's right. I really wanted to use this what do you call it? Like, I don't know what you call it. You sit on it. It's like a seat, but I'm not too sure what kind of seat you call that. Anyway, I wanted to use that in the dark green swatch. We got that from high school years. I nearly used it in the main bedroom, but I decided against it. So then I was like, well, I've got this little space that I need to fill. Let's put it there. Little lamp, little floor lamp, and Bob's your uncle. And then I come back to the kitchen and I bring out some clutter with a coffee machine so your Sims can be highly caffeinated at all times. The fancy espresso machine, a bit of colour with some of the decorations, and then moving along to the side entrance. So this side entrance has got a washer and dryer and a basket, so all your clothes, when your sim gets changed, rather than them falling down in the room they're getting dressed in and you having to move them to the washer dryer, they will automatically move to this basket. You probably already know this, but they'll do that unless the basket's full. And if it's full, then you will find pieces of clothing floating everywhere that you'll have to get rid of, I'm afraid. But you could always add in more baskets easily. And I put a vacuum cleaner as well in that space. And then I move to the exterior. So first we landscape the front of the house, and then I'll move around to the back of the house and furnish the back patio and back garden as well, because I wanted there to be quite a bit of outdoor entertainment space. I feel like if they do entertain in this house, it's probably going to be in the backyard. It is perfect for having parties, dinner parties, or nice evenings out on a fresh winter evening, get the fire going. So you'll see that in a minute. And then I just picked out a small number of colors to use in the garden. So a lot of white flowers and then the red as well, and lots of green, because I think my favorite are just like the green plants. I find the I don't know, I do like a lot of the flowers, but I find the green shrubs, etc., much easier to place because they go with everything. And a bit of rock to break up the soft greenery. Round here on the back, we mimic this sort of front garden piece that connects to these kind of pop-out pieces from the house. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but hopefully as you see it and I'm saying it, it kind of makes sense. And then use one of these new fences we got. I think that fence I just used was growing together, but it could be high school years. I'm getting a lot of those items mixed up. And for the trees around the outside of the house, like a little further out, I often try and pick out things that match the trees that are around the area, and also this grass as well. Here I'm using the landscaping terrain paint to almost mimic some of the terrain paint that's just beside this lot. I don't think I do a great job, but I try. I would like to practice more terrain paint. I'm not super confident with it, so I feel like maybe I overuse it or underuse it, and I've seen some people they're masters at it. So I definitely need to practice my terrain paint. But I am fairly happy with what I come up with. I just wanted it to look like, it wasn't sort of outside the lot and then this house is inside the lot and it's just plopped there. It needs to look seamless with the outside environment. This is what I'm talking about, this perfect little spot for entertaining. And I try and use these gorgeous chairs from Desert Luxe kit. This one here that I then moved to beside the fireplace. I try to use them around a dining table, and I didn't realize that they don't actually snap to tables. They're more of an armchair than a dining chair, and I was shooketh. And again, very clear color scheme back here. Lots of dark woods, blacks, silvers, whites and creams. Very luxe, very modern. So screenshots are coming up shortly, and if you want to download this build, my gallery ID is KiwiSimsKate, and you can find this build and all of my others there. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It helps a lot, and subscribe to the channel. I'd love you to keep up to date with my videos and let me know what you think. You can follow me over on my Twitch, over on my Instagram and my Twitter. All it's KiwiSimsKate. I just want to say thanks for watching. And I appreciate if you've stuck with me after this long break. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care out there. Bye.